Unit Revisitations, uh, hosts of the Wirrn, Part 2. Go.
Okay, so
She's now a bug person.
yes,
We have a bug person. It doesn't look
What?
like a bug person, because holograms.
yes.
Who's a bug person now?
Um, Shauna.
Oh.
A character from the first part of this story. You know, a bug scientist, an entomologist, who, yes, gets infected by a, uh, a bug queen, sort of, um, and gets turned into a bug.
A bit of DNA from the bug queen,
Yes, yes,
and
a little slice of it was all it took to infect her.
just went crawling up her arm. But it made it so that her evolution into the Wirrn was so slow she was able to fight it.
Yes, there is something that I'm guessing it's a disease, it's a psychic disease, but she's got this. Okay, she has a
So
telepathic connection, and that's how they with a connection with the Wirrn,
yeah,
but she somehow transferred a disease. They somehow transferred a disease across a telepathic link.
yeah. Um, well, the Wirrn queen from the last batch infected her entire hive because she was infected by a disease. So it worked with this one.
Yeah, but it just like
I
the basic premise of it doesn't quite make sense. But it's a telepathic disease, I suppose. That would be have to be its vector of contagion would have to be telepathic, because I don't think she wasn't even in the same room as all the all the Wirrn that died. It was like, okay, we're gonna infect you. You're nowhere near any of the other ones, but except the queen's in like the next room or something. But or no, wait,
the
at
queen,
that point that point the queen was out. But no,
yeah,
we're not even close to the queen. But we're going to infect you anyway, and then hope it spreads telepathically. I mean, it's an interesting. I mean, it's an interesting sci-fi premise. Using their own interconnectivity to defeat them. It's the same sort of idea behind the debate about whether to use Hugh to take down the Borg. Um, but
Ah.
which they went the other way with it. It's like, should we use should we use Shauna to destroy the swarm? Yes. um,
well, I mean, she was a red shirt from the beginning.
yes. She was. She, well, but she didn't die. She got turned into a bug, but didn't die.
And I mean, she loved bugs anyways. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just becoming what she's
Living
always
forever.
wanted to be.
And Worf turned into a bug, but he got better.
Yeah. In fact, didn't Jordy do the same?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. I would assume as a
Wasn't a
human, he would become another primate, just like
not,
everybody
not in that
else.
episode. It was in a different situation, and actually, it wasn't a bug. It was something else entirely. But either way, his DNA changed, and he was able to turn back.
Yes. Well, I can't remember the de-evolution episode, because it was like,
Yeah.
That
yeah, there was a de-evolution episode, and I
Bar-
remember distinctly that Worf was a bug. It
Yeah,
was
he
like,
was had the
Bar- it was Barkley's DNA that caused it. I
yeah.
remember that. He has a disease named after him. A hypochondriac with a disease named after him.
Isn't it
Right.
just so fitting?
It's not paranoia if it's right. If you're right.
Barkley is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's not paranoia if everyone is really out to get you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember if Jordy de-evolved during that episode. It's been a long time since I've seen that episode. But if he did, that would have been. But I think Riker did, or was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, ooh. But yeah, it's you are now a bug. That's got to be rough. It's like, oh, well, this will make social situations awkward.
She already was awkward with social situations, though.
I suppose.
She had my level of social life.
Oh my god.
I know.
Isn't this the extent of your social life?
Pretty much. This didn't work.
The yeah, in talking to ravens, talking to birds.
I did love that line in the first one where it's like, "You that bird," and Josh is like, "Wait, excuse me." You're the raven. Oh yeah, kind of. I guess I am. Oh, that's not what ravens are for.
I still love
And
I still love this. Kate Stewart is just like this is a thing that Osgood does on a regular basis, is just mess with the ravens and use them for purposes outside of their.
he loves to mess with the ravens.
It's like,
Fly, my pretties. Osgood. Oh, my.
You can't use a raven as a prop.
And
Nevermore.
and then the kamikaze ravens.
Yes.
Osgood, that's not what they're for. But I approve of this.
Yeah.
And of course, in Invocation, when she was messing with them to fix the parasite that was on them, she just has a thing about the ravens.
Yeah, well, like, can you really blame her? I mean, they're robotic birds that you can control.
But higher tech.
Yeah. Something fun to play with.
Exactly.
And you have a tinkerer like Osgood. And you have robot birds. I mean, she's going to tinker at some point.
Yeah, if it's something to tinker with, she's going to.
Exactly.
If nothing else, but out of pure curiosity.
Yup.
Though how she finds time.
Well, that's because her idea of rest and relaxation is working.
Yes.
I give you time off, and I spend it working. Yeah, I know I'm hopeless.
Well, I suppose if you're having fun.
Exactly.
It's not really work for her because it's fun.
Exactly. Find a job you love, and you don't have to work a day in your life.
Hey, oh.
But yeah. So yeah. Just double checking.
And
There's a message in Skype, and I was just double checking.
And her affinity for side knowledge It's not really a kill the flock. It's actually an unkindness or a conspiracy of ravens.
Yes. And a murder of crows, I believe.
Yes, it is a murder of crows.
Yeah. A conspiracy of
And
ravens and a murder of crows. So the crows actually do the deed. Ravens just talk about it.
they conspire. And they're very unkind about it because it's an unkindness of ravens as well.
Which, given that ravens, if I remember correctly, are significantly bigger than crows, it's like, the
I
little
loved
guy who did it.
I loved how Kate, once the last raven fell, was like, nevermore.
Yeah.
Even she has a pun side.
Because everyone has a pun
Yes.
side. People just don't let it out.
Some people
No.
Some people do not accept their pun side. I revel in it.
Me too.
Though I don't
You
put
know,
chocolate in it.
Even Osgood has a pun side.
Because puns
She just
are a
doesn't
gift
admit
unto the world.
She just doesn't admit it. When they were trapped in the submarine and Josh was making his jokes, she says, "Really, Josh? Are you here to help or are you here just for the captive audience?"
Nice.
She said it so offhandedly that that it almost doesn't register as a pun, but you know it's a pun.
That's because when she does humor, she does it just so matter-of-factly.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes, and Kate Stewart did the nice thing and didn't pull the appeasement card out. It's like, no, we're not going to give you this city. We're not going to give you anything. Leave. It's like,
Let you leave,
what?
but don't even look at Earth again unless you're pointing it out to other species saying, "Don't mess with them,"
They know what they're doing.
as long as you leave.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's like, we're not going to be doing appeasement. Chamberlain made that mistake. I'm not going to.
I'm afraid you're not going to be walking all over us.
Mm-hmm. And then went full 10th Doctor. No second chances. You had your chance to leave. I asked you to leave. You didn't. Boom. You are all dead. You are all already dead.
friends don't make friends sacrifice themselves. Yes, but friends do let friends save the world. Good point.
There wasn't much to set up in this. I mean, not much to talk about, considering this was the back end of another episode. So there's no unique premise to discuss because everything's already kind of been. This was just sort of, this is how we resolve it. They set everything up in host the Wirrn, and then just sort of part one, and then just here it ends. There's a lot of interesting things, but not as much as in the beginning part.
Yeah, it's pretty much, and this is the end.
Yes.
And they didn't live happily ever after. Only slightly.
Well, depends on whose perspective. the The people who got turned into bugs and then died, oh, not so much. The
Wirrn,
Shauna halfway, she depends on how much she enjoys being a bug. It's certainly going to put a cramp in her social life, but you know
who needs one of those?
what?
Who needs one of those?
I
That's
enjoy it from time to time.
That's what the
Weirdo.
internet is for. They don't have to see you.
And
Really bad. I bet she has a really hearty Twitter life after this.
Just
I
not
don't do
on the selfie
selfies.
side.
What?
Yeah, selfies.
Uh,
Or if she does take selfies, she takes them holding the phone in her bug arm.
Yeah, well, she does have the hologram.
yeah, she'd just hand it to somebody else to do the, like, have Osgood stand sort of next to her and stick her arm out and take a selfie of the hologram. That way, it
Hands
looks.
someone her phone and accidentally slices their arm up and is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. How did you do that? Random chance?"
But yeah, and then everybody else was fine. Everybody who didn't get deaded by the virus or turned into a bug lived happily ever after.
And
Or-
then everyone died.
Well, eventually, I suppose. Heat, death of the universe, and that sort of thing. Eventually, they will, obviously.
Plus, they're human, so they'll die at some point before that.
Oh, right.
Well, yeah. There's no telling with what kind of stuff that can happen to you in unit. I mean, to be fair, Harkness did eventually die. If he was the face of Bo, but at some point in the distant future on a different planet,
Yeah.
he doesn't make it all the
Long
way to
after the
Utopia,
death of the world.
but there's no reason to believe that it's like some weird stuff could happen and just turn into an immortal who lives until the heat death of the universe,
I mean,
and then
And
just
already immoral by that point.
Auton, and Josh does have the Auton skeleton.
plastic. Yeah,
So
which I
Which is a
thought
lot
that was
to kill
interesting.
him
That
saved his life yet again.
the fumes irritate the children, so frighten off the children.
Autons get a bad rap. They're not all that bad compared to you. Which kind of makes me think he's always saying how he hates the he hates the Nestine for what they did to him and stuff. And I mean, it was what, 20 minutes for him of excruciating pain and, almost killing his friends. But
Yeah, that old chestnut.
yeah, but I mean, look at all of the good shit that comes from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically kind of had a Wolverine moment.
Exactly.
Like excruciating pain when they put the adamantium on, but once it's there,
And then a little bit of time where he didn't have much control over himself.
Yeah,
And then he's basically a superhero.
yeah,
exactly. I mean,
get him a healing factor and bone claws, and he's freaking Wolverine.
and I mean, I wouldn't appreciate the pain at the time, but with all that reward, I think I would be okay with that.
Oh, that just gives me a terrible a vision of British Wolverine. It's the old '90s cartoon Wolverine hair where it's all
Oh
put up in
God!
big thing, you know, but then he's got a little top hat on top of it. Right there in the middle between the two big wings of hair. He just got a little top hat. And a monocle and a little tuxedo with tails. Oh, I
And
do
let's not
believe
forget a
I
pipe.
am the best at what I do, and what I do is not very pleasant.
I now really want to Photoshop that picture from either the cover of Cyber Reality um or the first post of the Wirrn cover because because his hand is in a fist, and I could totally make that into Wolverine, Photoshop Wolverine claws onto that. And I mean, if you look at his hair, I don't really have to do much with it.
Then you just need a top hat.
Don't even need a. Why would you need a top hat? Just doesn't
Why
wear it.
not? It's for maximum Britishness. Though you could do a bowler hat, and that's almost more British.
Yeah, but look
It won't
picture
help.
there. All I would have to do is draw claws, and I could totally make him into Wolverine.
Once you go full British, you'll never turn back. Are you sure you want to make this transformation? Doc, you probably pretty much already have, save for the
Yeah.
constant accent.
I actually do have people believing that I am Osgood.
I mean, you pretty much are.
I sometimes slip up and make them think more that I'm Osgood.
But that just
Keep in mind-
perpetuates the joke, and it's funny again. Everybody gets a good laugh out of it, and then you move along.
Denying it doesn't help.
Because Osgood would deny it too.
Exactly.
Yes. We are
I
not
shouldn't-
professional voice actors. We're not professional VAs.
Yeah.
Despite what you may think. This
Actually-
channel doesn't make any money, so therefore we're not professional. Though I have done a lot of amateur work with other things.
Although
I'm getting
I had let one of my coworkers borrow my discs,
Mhm.
and they couldn't get through the first one because they spent the entire time thinking Osgood was me.
Ah.
They
So-
couldn't focus on the storyline because they were like trying to dissemble my accent, and I'm like, that's really a British person. That's not me.
Yes, you don't go to London and go to Big Finish and record for them for Osgood.
Who says she needs to go to London for that? You can just record right here.
Yes, but you know, the microphone's good, but they would have. I would assume that.
They actually
For-
do it together.
Yeah.
They have booths that they actually all record at the same time.
Ah.
Yes.
So
Like
they're
professionals.
they're actually recording to each other. So when Josh is saying a line and Osgood is replying, she's literally replying to him.
Yeah, it makes the conversation sound more natural.
It does.
Yeah, and also just for quality's sake. I mean, my setup's pretty good, but a production would want something even, something they could control. Like
Yeah.
Exactly.
they're like, "Oh, well, you have decent quality, and if you weren't paying too close of an attention, you wouldn't realize I don't, this isn't professional quality if you weren't paying too much attention to it, but it's sort of, but they would want, okay, we paid for all this, foamed room where it keeps the sound nice. It has good acoustics, and we've got professional technicians that regulate how that make your voice sound super good because they're gonna we're gonna up the bass a little bit, or we're gonna tweak
Yeah, you
this a
don't
little
have to
bit.
edit your own voice at all. You just have to go in and talk.
Yeah,
Plus,
they do all the work for you. So yeah.
they do um the this other stuff, not just cleaning up your voice, but they make it sound like a robot, or they make it sound like you're in a tunnel, and all the other stuff that they do to make it.
Which is
Because
interesting because you can do. I've actually done that. I've actually done robot voices. It's not that hard, but
I mean, they do all that for you,
yeah.
and they add the sound effects and everything, which is a fascinating process because the background they do for the story adds so much to it beyond just what the voices are saying.
Yeah.
Though most of the most of the backing track is like sample stuff they already have on hand, because what would be interesting to me would be a the job of sort of a sound hound to go out, and for the BBC, your job is to go out and just record sound,
Yeah.
record B-roll. I mean, they do a lot of like, okay, we're just going to for a lot of it's Foley, and they make Foley artists that go out and do that sort of oh, we're gonna cut this cabbage in
All that.
half to make it sound like a beheading. But if you wanted to say get sounds of London,
All that
you,
fun making noise and stuff.
yeah, the stuff that let's get some natural sounds in here, and then just go around with a high quality microphone, and just we're gonna record record the train, record this or that, and just collect sample stuff for the BBC as a whole. Though, is Big Finish part of the BBC, or is it just
They
licensed by the BBC?
license, they have the licensing for the for Doctor Who and various other things, but they get the licensings for those particular series. They aren't part of the BBC. They're
Okay.
independent.
Okay, so it's a private company that
Yeah,
licenses, basically, to an extent, it's licensed fan fiction.
it is. That's how it started. It's actually 20 years old.
Wow.
I know. And
Aged
it was
really
started.
Oh
You
dear! Oh my goodness!
do you remember Alien Voices back in the 90s? Made
Nope.
done by led mostly by Delancey and and Spock, Leonard Nimoy.
I do not.
Nope.
But
They did a
sounds
bunch of audio dramas, basically, or dramatic readings of classic sci-fi stories. Like they did The Invisible Man, they did Land of the Lost, they did those they did The Time Machine, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And they did Spock versus Q, which is one of the best audios ever.
Oh my god, I need to listen to this.
It is amazing.
But Spock versus. And that could totally happen too, because.
And the best part is, it was kind of like they did it as a panel at a Comic-Con type thing, where it's Nimoy as Spock just doing this speech, and then Q comes in and is like, and just starts. And it is just brilliant. And they had a sequel, Spock versus Q Part 2.
But
And the second part, Spock and Q switch personalities.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it is brilliant. But my point was, lost in the digression. It's kind of like that, where people who were originally part of the industry, like it was Nick Briggs and Jason Haig Ellery, who does the Big Finish, and they started out, I think, with Doctor Who stuff. And now they've branched off into so much that it's insane. But I mean, it's been 20 years. And they actually, I do have the classic unit ones they did. It has, it has Nicholas Courtney in it. It has the brig. I was listening to that this weekend. Oh, and it is official. The Big Finish is officially canon.
Nice.
At least the unit objects are officially canon, based on the fact that Moffat called them canon.
Yay!
It's probably, to put an adjective on that, it's probably soft canon. If anything conflicts with on-screen canon wins. But
yes.
But yeah, still soft canon.
Yes.
Well, I think we've outrun this thing out. I even had a digression for a while.
Well, I mean, Doc could probably talk about Unit for the next several days without really stopping, so...
Yes.
I could probably talk about Osgood for the next... I mean, what?
Yourself?
I mean, who can blame you? Osgood is best.
Yeah,
Well, you're talking about yourself, so obviously, you're gonna be able to talk for at length.
I mean, who knows me better than me? I mean...
Shh, the public isn't supposed to know. It's all real, folks.
Why do you think I put on this crazy Texas accent? It doesn't work.
You see, I don't even hear an accent from you.
Oh, good. Then my masking of it has been quite successful.
Yes.
I do a little bit, but it's not the Texas drawl. It's kind of the difference between... I have a Midwestern accent, but even though I'm from the Chicagoland area, I don't have a distinctly Chicagoan accent.
Yeah.
I'm from the Northwest, and I sound like it.
Well, you've got. I think you've basically got the generic American accent as well. Since I'm part of the. I'm very close to being. I'm not far from the border in terms of, into Oklahoma, where then you start becoming more Midwestern. Though it's still sort of south. It's sort of, I'm at the sort of crossing point of where you have a bit of the South, you got a bit of the Midwest, and you got a bit of the West, all sort of squished into one, sort of overlapping at one point. And so that's, if my accent doesn't have a very strong Texas vibe, that's why.
Yeah.
It's you can hear it, bits and pieces here and there and in certain words, but it's mostly generic, sort of Midwestern.
And to be fair, of all of the people that I know that are either in or from Texas, the only one who ever had a drawl was my grandma.
Yeah.
Hopefully they were wearing drawls, though.
Oh my.
Actually, since we're wrapping that up, I'll go ahead and put it on something else and give Maydrock a chance to come back. Just put it on derp
His
for the.
message said that it was too weak for him to take part in the call.
Yes.
Oh.
Maybe it was spent too long on Earth's gravity.
Ooh, yeah, that shit can get pretty daunting.
Okay, well.
Not that I would know, he said while floating away into space.
Again?
What?
I can't help it.
That's not what they mean when they say getting high.
But it's just so much fun. Haven't you ever lived with your head in the clouds?
No, I'm too busy with my nose in a book.
Oh, right.
Or my techno. I mean, what? No.
Yeah, I was just about to say, then what about all that stuff you're tinkering with in the lab?
There is no lab. There is no lab.
The lab is a lie.
Now that's gonna be a running gag. Though we don't have really enough viewers to justify a running gag, but that could be a running gag. It's just like, no, we're actually all just part of you. Just we're all putting on this, accent to hide the fact that we're there, so that we can critique it without it getting weird.
Damn, I wish I was part of unit. That would be much better than the shit I'm dealing with here.
Well, I mean, you do have to worry about being turned into a bug.
Well,
True.
I mean, that just keeps things interesting.
At any time, you could be turned into a bug, or meet your mirror self with an eye patch.
Yes.
I mean,
Or
why wouldn't your mirror self have an eye patch?
Get eaten alive by a number of giant creatures.
I mean,
Well-
hell, if you meet yourself from next Tuesday, you're probably still gonna have an eye patch on.
Though at one point in my life I did wear an eye patch. Though it was only for brief periods of time, a day. But
Same here. Last time my glasses broke. They broke straight in half, and I had to wear an eye patch, partially so that I wouldn't be half blind. Different kind of half blind, and also because I had a black eye.
no, well, mine was for a different reason. Mine was because I had a lazy eye. But
Ooh.
yes, so they gave me an eye patch to make the other, because one eye was getting was overcompensating for the other, and so it was straining things. And the idea was, okay, we'll make this eye actually do some work by blocking out this other one. And that
Cover the
was,
good eye, and now your lazy eye has to actually quit being lazy.
But
Sounds good.
yeah, I had to do that for a while, for some time per day. Wasn't like long enough where I had to do it at school, but like at home. I think that was like an hour or two, but
I have never worn an eye patch.
it's so cool.
It is.
It's so piratey.
No.
But you've also never had a eye health reason to wear a eye patch, so that's good.
Yeah.
So,
And
That's
if you
a
ever
thing.
do need an eye patch, they're hidden all over town just in case of eye patch emergencies.
True.
but
Anyway.
considering I've had 2 surgeries on my eye, so fun that.
Ow.
Well, one of them I was too young to remember, and the other one, it wasn't that bad. Like you think it would be worse than it is, but it's not. It's not that bad.
I did once have a cast when I was a baby because I had 2 left feet. Literally, I had club foot.
I have never broken a bone.
Me either.
So.
I was born with club foot.
Yeah, I've never broken a bone either.
Well, no, that's not true. I have broken, not broken. I have chipped a bone, but I never got it treated.
I dislocated my shoulder once.
Are you laughing at the pictures?
Yes,
Yeah.
I peeked over at it, and yes, he is. That is very much, you know, British Wolverine.
Except his fist is at a weird angle for the claws.
Yeah.
Well, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
When editing, there's only so much you can do.
Plus, mind, I did that in like 2 minutes.
It's better than anything I could do with Photoshop.
Hmm.
Which is nothing.
Well, it's not Photoshop. It's Art Studio.
Well,
Oh, how?
I
Yeah.
stand corrected.
Oh my!
Yes, but you're not standing, you're sitting.
Well,
How
you
do
never
you
know. I
he's
stand
not?
up when I record. So, yeah.
We have no idea if he's standing at the moment. He could be. Maybe. Perhaps. No?
Probably gets away.
Okay.
No one heard me squeaking, did they?
Shh, I'm not Osgood.
Totally Osgood.
Shh.
And I'm not actually on the show because I don't sound like anybody.
See, that's the glory of voice acting. You can sound like them if you want to.
Yes, if I tried, I might be able to. But then I wouldn't be able to have my own glorious voice.
That's true.
You just wouldn't be able to sound like Sam because nobody could sound like Sam except
Well,
Sam.
I mean, I just can't get his accent right because it's just too Cheshire, and I don't know how to Cheshire.
It's just, I mean,
At least first you start disappearing from the tail, and then...
As long as your grin is the last thing they see.
At least you're not the Mad Hatter.
I'm happy for that.
Just remember what the Dormouse said. Feed your head.
You know,
Gone
I've
mad,
never
haven't I?
watched that movie.
What?
I've never actually seen that film or read the book.
The animated version or the weird...
The animated version.
Oh.
I've seen the Tim Burton one.
I actually liked the Tim Burton one.
I couldn't be asked.
I didn't go out of my way to see it. I saw it just because it was on, but I did not hate it.
Yeah, I couldn't be asked. It looked too weird, and it's just like
Tim Burton.
Yes, but Tim
standard
Burton
fare
has
for him.
some. You see, there's a difference between sort of like you have. You know, he did Batman, and yes, you had Nightmare Before Christmas, but that was like, you know, it was weird, but not in. It looked coherent, and it wasn't, you know, offensive to the eyes.
Corpse Bride was pretty good too.
But yeah, just like most of his stuff is not offensive to the eyes. The
His
Wonderland
original-
ones were. That was
His
And-
original
weird
work is
and
generally pretty
creepy
good.
and no.
Betty's
Hello.
Aha!
Oh, look,
Welcome.
Madrox's come to join us.
We've been delaying doing Orville so you could do Orville.
They had to drill a hole through our house.
Oh,
They
that's
just
not,
strike
that's
oil?
not very nice.
At least there was no hole in your head.
Too right,
I
that.
don't know.
I don't know where I'm going with this accent, but it
Don't-
sort of
don't
popped
do-
out.
No.
I
Don't-
mean,
Do
it's
that.
not like it wouldn't be comfortable at some point. You just got to ease yourself into it.
I'm not even sure what accent that was. Something roughly British, but it might have been Australian. I don't know.
No, that wasn't Australian.
I just can't go
Well,
with it.
certain parts of it, but
That was if anything Cockney.
All right then.
I bet Bug Lady hates Raid.
That's just
What?
making me think of My Fair Lady. That's a good movie.
No, I hadn't seen it myself, but it's that's a thing that happened. I suppose.
I think you'd like it. You could definitely learn a lot about speech. A lot about speech.
Oh, I think I know quite a bit, but I suppose you could always learn more. Are we already in the camp of don't do that, don't ever do that?
Yes, I've been saying that.
Yes.
I'm confused.
We know.
When's that not the case?
right, yeah. You're always a little bit, you know. Always a bit strange out there, you know.
I'm wanting a cup of tea.
A biscuit.
So- Right.
Couple biscuits. Jammy Dodgers. Yeah, it's good. And just hear Doc just sort of seething over there.
And that's what makes it worth it.
My ears have been. Wow. Ew. That's disturbing on so many levels.
What you say? The first part of it got kind of garbled.
Sorry.
I need to destroy your eyes as much as this destroyed mine.
Oh no, don't send that. Oh no, why?
Right.
I'm not viewers, dear viewers, if you are actually watching the stream, which is terribly unlikely. I'm not going to subject you to this.
I don't know how, so.
Oh, I
think
could
it's
easily do
hilarious.
it, but I don't want to.
Okay.
I was just looking up images of Wolverine so I could better the Photoshop.
And then that popped out, huh?
And that popped up.
That is fucking gold.
For our watchers at home, we have Wolverine in Princess Leia's outfit, and it's
Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in this
bikini
slave
bit.
Leia outfit, and he looks like he likes it better than Leia did.
Well, presumably he put it on by choice,
Yeah.
because who's going to tell Wolverine to put on that?
Definitely not an immobile slug monster.
Well, I mean, Magneto could make him.
I suppose, but I didn't
See,
know Magneto
this
was
outfit-
interested in that. Though
This
Ian
outfit got
McKellen,
Logan in
also
touch with
Ian
his
McKellen.
fabulous side.
Yeah, he's fabulous. I was looking for a better picture of Wolverine's claws so that I could, instead of having to draw them, I could just Photoshop them in. And that popped up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That there is a cursed image, lass.
Might be to you. I know, I keep switching accents. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, don't even begin to apologize. My mind wanders like crazy. Like anybody, any real British person listening to this is like, oh goodness, why are you wandering so freaking much?
The sad part is I have a few British friends, and somehow they don't mock me for they don't take offense to whenever I do a British accent around them.
I actually had Pakistani and Indian friends who said that my accent was better than theirs because they were like next gen. And when I first learned the accent, I got stuck in it. And I answered the drive-through, "Welcome to Dunkin' Donuts. How may I take your order?" And I took their order and I said, "Okay, pull up to the second window, please." And they were like, "Where's that nice Indian lady who was here, who took our order? She was really nice." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you very much." And they're like, "Your brown accent is better than ours." Exact words.
My brother at one point was able to convince someone that he just met that he was from Ireland. Like, so where in Ireland are you from? Oh, I'm from Portland. What?
Oh, yeah, there's about to do it in Irish.
I
Mine's
was
more cartoon Irish.
Aye, that it was.
Oh, yes, it was. It was a bit of a cartoon Irish. I can't.
Don't forget to
blame you
pepper
for
in
not
the word
liking the
potato
accent.
wherever you can. Otherwise, you're not sounding Irish enough.
I actually was talking to some customers who were Scottish, and I sponged their accent up, and so I started speaking in a Scottish accent to people from Scotland, and they actually assumed I was from I think it was Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
I actually
Aye,
know a guy
Edinburgh.
from
That's-
Edinburgh, and he gave me advice. All he said is, "You've got to roll your R's
R's, yes.
all the
Always
time.
roll your R's.
Roll it as much as you frickin' can. You don't
Yes.
say fuck, you say feck.
Yes. Oh, I've always said feck.
It's so much more fun to say feck.
Is.
And you can get away with it a lot more often.
Note, David Tennant was in the classic unit audios 2004, 2005, before he was the Doctor. And he was in his Scottish accent as a colonel. Colonel Wood.
Of course, if you roll your R's too much, then you're gonna get carpet burn.
Aye, that's true. But it's worth it to do it right. If you're not doing it in excess, you might as well not be doing it at all.
Just try to sound like the best companion ever.
What are you talking about, Jamie?
Of course.
Or Scrooge McDuck.
Well, I mean, that's true, but he's not really a companion.
Well, no, in addition to companions, you could try to sound like Scrooge McDuck. Because McDuck is Scottish.
Aye, but he's not as Scottish as Glomgold.
Well, he's been more Americanized.
Hey, spoiler, but Scrooge is totally more Scottish.
Aye,
You
he's a
don't
lot more Scottish.
You didn't have to wear a kilt to be more Scottish.
He doesn't even wear pants. What are you on about?
He's a duck. Ducks don't need pants.
Gromgold was a kilt.
That
Well,
quote.
kilt isn't pants.
But it fills the same role, though it would be very odd to hear this conversation in Scotland because that would mean underwear.
Exactly.
He doesn't wear any trousers.
He doesn't wear any underwear either.
I don't understand people who think you need to wear underwear under a kilt. It's a kilt.
Exactly. Unless you're in costume and you're not actually going as proper Scottish, in which case it depends on the situation.
When I'm dressed up like I'm from medieval times, it's never a costume. Then again, I'm one of those crazy anachronizers who does pirate stuff. So,
When I'm dressed as Jamie, I wear shorts under it.
well,
Only because
you're
there
here.
are a lot of perverts at convention.
Okay, that's fair.
Well,
See, that's
and
why
we
you
also
have a
got
modesty
the
pin, so that whenever you sit down, it just
Actually,
automatically falls.
pervert. I'm not kidding. The actor who plays Jamie is a total pervert. In a funny way, but he's still a total pervert.
well, you know, you've also got the that old song about you know the blue ribbon.
Starting club at the
Yes.
bar, evening fair.
I know
You can
that
tell
one
from
a
the
little
way
too
he
well.
walked that he had more than his share. He
Stumbled
stumbled
around
off
until he could no longer keep his feet.
and
Then he stumbled off into the grass to
he
sleep beside the
beside the
street.
street.
Ring ding diddle diddle-i-o, ring diddle-i-o. He stumbled off into the grass to sleep beside the street. I've been singing that song for decades.
Me too. I got in trouble in high school for singing it.
I got attention in high school for singing it.
What?
And again, I
Well,
got
to be
attention in
fair, it
grade
is a
school for
rude
singing it.
song if you're thinking about it.
It's
Hold
not
on.
inaccurate, though.
It's not
What?
inaccurate, but it is a bit rude. in the British style of rude.
I mean, then again, there's a lot of drinking songs that I was performing, even back in grade school. It was okay, maybe in my last year of grade school, but still.
All right, should we switch over back to our American accents and our disguised accents so that we can talk about the Orville?
I mean, we could, but accents are so much fun.
Well, you can continue to do the accent. I'm not going to bother.
If I slip into another accent, I don't know if I'm going to leave it. So let's see where it goes.
Wait till Doc finishes.
Do you guys sometimes question what your actual accent is?
Not
Yes.
really.
Like your pronunciation of words and when you pronounce them normally, and you wonder if that's the way there's because other people don't pronounce them the same way.
I don't really
Realize-
care. Even if it came up, I wouldn't really care. And
But I mean,
to be honest, I don't do accents often enough for that to be a thing that I do on a regular basis.
I
I
just
can
gently slip between accents to the point I don't notice and other people do.
I tend to slip into whatever accent I heard last. This even happens when I'm watching Despicable Me. I will leave
I've never watched Despicable Me.
situation where I've watched that one of those movies, and I will leave the area talking like Gru.
I don't know who Gru is.
He's the main character of Despicable Me.
Is he one of the yellow guys?
No, he's the big guy with the schnoz
Oh, okay.
and the freeze ray.
I thought the yellow guys were the main character.
No, that's the minions, and they're not as good
It's
as
a
Gru.
comic relief.
Ah,
They're Jar Jar, who was popular.
Yes, I haven't seen it, but from what I understand, a slightly less annoying version of Jar Jar, but lots of them and no Jamaican accent.
Yeah. And they have their own unique language.
all I know is they really like bananas because they look like bananas.
Yes.
And the reason I know that is because of memes. I found a picture, I don't know if I could find it again, of a minion dressed as Missy. Bananas.
Anyway,
Say something nice.